Today I want to talk about both murals and also the picture side of the print media design. I'm putting these two together because I feel this is a very visual side of the research. I'd like to first start with murals, although I'm on a website that really talks about print media visualization. I think murals also kind of fall into this line. A couple of things from the mural rubric I want to definitely point out is that your mural is complete according to the vision of the design. The use of space and color and artistic value is definitely present. I feel that a mural, although ultimately controlled by you, the designer, must show evidence of both the message derived from the campaign's research, but also have an artistic quality. So the use of stick figures, unless that is a purposeful decision, is not necessarily appropriate in this case. We want to make sure that because you have chosen this form of media to express such a complex topic, that you are doing this topic and the research that you and your campaign members have chosen and collected is represented well. To me, I feel it would be counterproductive or not meaningful if the design did not have a visualness, the color, the use of space, creativity as other art forms generally take. I would not consider this to be your typical art box type project in class. This is something that is meaningful, that can educate others about the different types of research that you have discovered, as well as sharing this research on a visual platform with others for many years to come, as it will sit in here. It'll be displayed out hopefully in the hallway. It'll be exposed to a greater audience. I would also make sure that when presenting that it's important to make sure for both murals and print picture design that you are citing the sources that impacted your design and the decision making behind your design. Remember, we want to be as authentic or as original as we possibly can, but we wouldn't have been authentic and original in our design had it not been for what information that we've acquired during our research process. So I would definitely make sure that you also check out the source citation screencast that I've created so that you know how to create that works cited page and attach it to your creation, preferably on the back where it's not initially visible. So switching over to print media, but also can benefit rural media or mural media, is the idea of not being obvious. We talked a lot this week about how we can create inference for a reader, how we don't come out and just say things or make things very clear. We have to get our audience to really think, and we do that in the form of symbolism. So if we take a look at an ad right here, we see a child, we see a ring of smoke. We can infer that that is more of like an angelic halo. And the tagline here is, "Children of parents who smoke get to heaven earlier," implying that smoking causes secondhand smoke causes health issues, potentially death. Down here you'll see a slogan and logo combination, also access to the campaign's website. This is a very simple print. This is a very simple reenactment, but I feel that the creativity around it definitely expresses the message to which we want to persuade others to not make these smoking decisions. If I keep scrolling down a little bit more to look at other examples, okay, notice again that this is a very visual piece of art where we have an unrealistic arm coming out of the mouth, and we have to infer as readers that words are just as painful as the physical act of pain can be to a person. And then also down here below is telling us a little bit about the idea of where this idea came from, and a little blurb from the artist. I'd like to scroll down for another thing. If you take a look at this one with the alligator, clearly we have to infer that materials made out of alligator skin, such as boots, take a toll on the animal, which is something that as public we don't necessarily think about. Also, in addition, they have up here the idea of tags. So a tag that would be typically on boxes or on, say, luggage or something like that. So they play to the creativity and the knowledge of where this stuff comes from to create a very powerful image. Again, very few words are being communicated here, because I think the sole communication is the actual visualness, which is what both of your campaigns actually come into play. If I could scroll down, there's one more I'd like to show for how morbid and crazy this print might be. There's a very realistic image here that supports a different way of thinking about print media, especially. So you've got this idea of text down here. They don't treat others the way you don't want to be treated. It has a little bit of research, and then it also goes into the slogan and logos down here. It's very easy to take a Google picture and put some words on it. It's very easy to recreate these things using images that can already have access to it. It's very easy to print off pictures that we can just sketch out on a paper. But the idea behind all of this is that you're generating a sense of creativity for your group that is authentically produced. I would imagine that you're going to want to use the iPads. You're going to want to use some sort of Photoshop tools. Even phones nowadays can offer a lot of variety in how you negotiate what pictures look like. Okay, so if your prints currently right now have a bunch of Google images to them, I would consider those prototypes. How can you authentically create pictures or recreate pictures that really contribute to the thinking of your campaign? Remember, you, both murals and print, you are in charge of that visualness of your information. In terms of both print and mural, I would definitely, I know I mentioned this before, but do not forget to show evidence of citing sources throughout your design. Part of the things of your presentation, I would expect that your presentation of your product would demonstrate your successes, your failures, and an overall snapshot of the process and thinking behind your creation. We want to be sure that the decision-making of using an iPad or the decision-making of the colors that you're using on your canvas all have purpose to what you are doing, and it doesn't just turn into some sort of clip art project or some sort of art box color, fill in the color project. This is something that is meaningful, purposeful, and designed with research in mind. So as you move forward in your thinking today, as you create your final project, I really want you to think about the things that we've talked about insofar as being authentic, insofar as being visual, being creative, citing your sources, and understanding the visualness of your campaign and the message that your campaign wants to send. If you have any additional questions about this, or you're seeking additional feedback on what you're designing, please feel free to get me anytime.